take it.
We've got the All-Ireland final coming up this weekend, so there's going to be any amount of rednecks heading for Dublin, as you like to call them, Christy. How excited are you heading up to this final now? I know you're based down in Waterford City. You have Walsh Park behind you down there, just where you work. But are you excited for this final?
I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be, if you look at the Limerick team, they're so well structured. If things go wrong, they know how to make them right. And the experience they've had, they've been in a few tough. This year in particular, they've been in quite a few tough battles. I suppose they're going for the 4 in a row will probably give them an extra incentive. Kilkenny are going now. This will be 8 years without a championship, and it's like a famine down here. But I'm sure lots of other counties would be glad to be in that position. But I don't know, the Kilkenny team, they just don't know how to give up. And last year, they were gone. They were never going to win it last year, as it appears. But the ball had to go up the field one more time. I think it would have happened.
Yeah, Ciarán, what's the excitement like down in Patrickswell and in Limerick?
It's huge, Shane, to be fair. And, I suppose I'm acutely aware that this present team are in kind of bonus territory, because it's kind of uniquely brilliant when you're contesting a 4 in a row, because it's pretty rare. So myself personally, I'm enjoying the moment and every day. There's an awful lot of people, I suppose, very nervous. Will we do it? Will Declan Hannon be playing and all this kind of stuff, right? But, it's fantastic, Shane, because as I said, the uniqueness of it, and I'm really looking forward to it, and it will be a different game from last year. And at the end of the day, last year, I can remember, I remember the main points of last year's game. I just felt the first 25 minutes, Kilkenny they played with a serious amount of fear and nervousness. They got the fundamentals right. As Kilkenny, as Christy said there, the one thing you'll get from Kilkenny always, their values are brilliant. They'll always empty the tank and the second tank, no matter what happens. But I just felt if their unforced errors and their boo-boos last year, if they hadn't as many, because Limerick punished them with every one of them. And still at the end of it, there was only 3 points in it. And Limerick, in my opinion, from 5 to 12, 3-6, 3-6, 8, 9, in those 9 positions, Limerick pulverised them like 8-1. So that area is going to be huge also. And if Kilkenny can kind of come out pretty even in there and, lessen the unforced errors and the boo-boos and, and don't be overawed by the green and white, because Kilkenny, in fairness, they're the one county that have a great knack, whether it's the first 2 minutes or in the middle of it at the end, scoring goals. And I think they'll probably need goals Sunday.
Yeah, I'll agree with you, Ciarán. Yeah, they stood off Limerick last year, no question about it. They were dizzy. They didn't know where the Limerick players were. They just couldn't. You were looking around, where were they? They were fucking either 10 yards left or right here. So I think that from what I've seen, like with Clare and Cork and Tipperary and Galway for half an hour the last day, I think if Kilkenny don't push up, make Limerick play, make him hit the ball. If they let him play with the ball, well, Limerick will be bringing home the 4 in a row.
Tactics, Christy. Tactics will be huge Sunday, and you rightly pointed it out there. If Derek Ling and the boys on the line are tactically razor sharp on the day and take on board what you're saying and squeeze up, then they have a bit of a chance. But you'll know after about 10 minutes if they are tactically awake to what's happening, because the game then will take Limerick's trend if they're not.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. Yeah, I think it'll be, the tactics will come into it, but I think the drive within the players will have an awful lot to do with it. If you're there individually on the field yourself and you can see what's going on, the tactics sometimes might have to go out the window, and you yourself will have to take it on board and make them decisions and drive on. And it's individuals then, like TJ Reid, Owen Cody, the midfielder, Mullen, yeah, like these guys, they'll have to, not make the mistake they made the last day. I mean, we lost by 2 points last year, and Jesus, TJ gave a pass to Rich, and you couldn't fucking miss it, and he missed it. Simple things like that. But I don't. You'd wonder at the finish how were Kilkenny so close, but they just didn't give up. You know, if they get a think as close a smell of it on Sunday, it'll take a lot to shake them off. But saying that, Limerick have the tools. They have the tools, but you know, sometimes the tools don't always work. But
sometimes the tools are a bit blunt, Christy.
Christy, now
Ciarán, the tools we use, it's a different game now. Sure, the
Oh, sure, Christy. The chalk and cheese.
A rubber ball. The ball is only a rubber ball. And if you fucking tackle anybody, it's a free yellow card. I mean, the last day, in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? No blood on them.
Oh yeah.
Christy, now don't take this as a Tipperary person trying to wind up a Kilkenny man, but this could be a 4 in a row for Kilkenny as well, losing 4 All-Irelands in a row.
Well, we don't want that to be said anyway. No, it's trying to be 3, was it not 3?
No, to be 4, sure. Didn't we hammer you in 2016, 2019, and then you lost last year?
Now, your 4 in a row on the row now is. I know you're talking about losing 4, yeah, but it's not in a row though.
Well,
it's not.
But look, that'll be an unfamiliar position for Kilkenny given the dominance that came before it.
I know, yeah. Just we were spoiled. Christ Almighty, what the success they've had was just something else, you know. Look, all them players. Look at the current team, and look what Henry Sheffrin had playing around him. I don't want to say what's playing around TJ Reid now. It's just a different animal altogether, you know. The game is different. Not taken away from the lads out there. Just they all do their best, you know. And you know, Ciarán, if a guy goes out there and does his best and he comes off the field, once you fucking change your gear in the dressing room there and you say, well, I gave it me all, you know, that's, you can't ask for more. And if the better team beats, that's fair and square. Just get on with it.
Yeah, but Christy, you're right there. Like Kilkenny have the artillery, to be fair. You mentioned TJ there and on Cody. Massey Keohan on his day, Donnelly on his day, Billy Ryan on his day. Like, they will all have to come to this party. The whole lot of them. They can't just rely on 1 or 2. But if they all come, then it could make it very interesting.
Yeah, I know. Billy Ryan, the God Almighty, the chances that he creates, you know, and the ones he finishes after so few, and he's a ferocious electric speed. It doesn't finish it, unfortunately. And maybe Sunday will be his day. You know, maybe, I don't know. There's a few different lads that's been called into the panel now because I'm told there's one of the lads out. The wing back, I think, is out for Kilkenny. So that's rumour. So I don't know.
Paddy Deegan or Blanchfield?
Blanchfield.
He beat Big last now.
Yeah, he only came in last year, so in the last few minutes. Yeah, he had a reasonably good season, but I'd say Corcoran will probably come in for him. I don't know. He would sound like the obvious choice. He was playing there before that from Ballyhale Shamrocks, the wing back for Ballyhale. He's a big lad now, strong lad, but the other guy is more wiry. Might be as physically strong. Corcoran probably bigger, maybe more loose. I don't know. It's hard to tell. He's certainly proved it for the Shamrocks numerous times. Can you bring that to Croke Park again? Like he's done it with the Shamrocks in Croke Park. Maybe he can do it this time.
Yeah. And I was going to ask you then, Christy, how do you think that Derek Lyng has done in his first year, considering, you know, he's come, you know, after Brian Cody, who's won so much?
I think he must go to mass often, I'd say. No, I mean the players he had. Jesus, look, they played that. I suppose you're talking about, you know, the unbeaten teams. Kilkenny and Limerick are beaten already this year, and you know that's a hard fact, and sometimes it's hard to swallow. Wexford were the only team that beat Kilkenny, and Clare were the only team that beat Limerick. So it's on the day, you know. I mean, you know, quietly, I feel that the players are able to express themselves a bit better. He's making changes, I think. Maybe I'm biased on Brian Cody. I haven't played with him. I think he's making the change a little bit quicker. With what he has, the players are there. They're giving it their all, you know. But the dogs in the street to pick the Limerick team. You know, you ask me, even myself, I wouldn't rattle off the Kilkenny team just like that. You know, maybe 7 or 8 of them, but there's the rest of them. You say, you know, who's in and who's out, because there's different guys in and come out. So, I mean, 4 years? I can't remember what year. 2015. Wally came in. He hadn't played first game.
2012.
What years?
2012.
2012, first year.
Yeah.
You know, hadn't played on the whole year for Kilkenny. So, is there a rabbit in the hat? I don't know, but the game is so different now, though. You know what I mean, Ciarán? I think.
So there'll be a few rabbits in the hat, Christy.
What did you say, Ciarán?
There'd want to be a few rabbits in the hat.
Well, I don't care. We don't need the hat. We'll take the cup.
Are there any matchups that you're looking forward to in this game?
Well, I suppose TJ Reid and Owen Cody, you know, if it's man on man, if they're one-on-one up front, Limerick could be in trouble. They need a few extra bodies back there to control to marry the two of them. Now, the corner forwards go back. I know they all go back and they all go forward. But one man there you didn't mention, I think Tom Morrissey has been absolutely tremendous for Limerick. Jesus, he's up and down the field. He's putting in tackles. He's knocking over scores. And the same goes for Dara Donovan. They're not getting the same, maybe the highlights as some of the others, but the two of them now, they seem to do that. Well, Donovan seems to be always in the right place at the right time, and he does the right thing with the ball and never seems to be in a panic. I know he hasn't maybe got a fair deal at times with Ciarán Carey, but he just seems to be in, you know, he's in there, he's available, he delivers it. If he gets a grip on the game, it'll be hard to stop Limerick, because it's like he's changing the gears, and Limerick just go up the gear when he gets the machine moving. And Cian Lynch, like having him back, you know, I think we haven't seen there's a lot more to come from him. Like he's something else, you know. I mean, they're all Peter Casey, they're all Flanagan and Gillan. Who's going to mark Gillan? You know, who's going to mark Gillan? That's the thing.
Who do you think, Christy? Christy, who will they put on him, do you think?
Who's going to mark Tony Kelly? You know, I don't know.
Ciarán, what would you think?
I'd say Hugh Lawler. He was actually on him this time. He was on him last year, actually, and I felt, you know, he was new. Hugh Lawler was new enough, finding his feet, and to me now he's turned out to be an awesome player. You know, I put him down as a super player, a brilliant future. He's actually after cranking it up a notch in 12 months. But not only that, Gillan is actually after cranking it up a few notches as well. So it'll be very interesting encounter if the two of them are going to be going toe-to-toe Sunday.
And Ciarán, do you think
that they have both of them, Shane? They have speed. Lawler has, for a big guy, he has tremendous speed, as has Gillan, and skill-wise, absolutely. Now the goalkeeper has an awful lot to do with it now. I mean, Jesus, last year, you know, the goalkeeper, the puck out was coming, and Kilkenny just did the same thing as they always do. You get the ball down the other end of the field as quick as you can. That's where you're nearer that goal than your own goal. So I don't know what tactic that'll have a bearing. Owen Murphy's my own clubman, and you know, he's just something, like he plays centre half back for the club. So you see him coming off his line, he puts his body on the line. I think, you know, Nicky Quaid the same. Like even the semi-final, the lads saying that Clare missed goals and missed this and that. It's just the Clare goal, he stopped 2 bullets. You know, and to say we missed them as well as they missed them. So what will happen on Sunday? And I think, Ciarán, that will be the foundation for what happens out the field. And will they go long? Will they go short? All I can say is Limerick don't like the ball pucked out. They like to be given the ball. If Limerick have to puck it out, anything is possible. But if they're given the ball,
you made a vital point there. Actually, of all the last few years, this year appears to be, for the goalkeeper on the championship day, they're a bigger fish than what they were, right? Because a lot of teams are squeezing up. So most goalkeepers, I suppose, discipline, they're looking for, when teams are squeezing up, they're looking for a small window of a quick cock out. And if one switches off, Murphy and Quaid have the ability to be a sniper at any given moment in time. So discipline is going to be huge. You know, if both teams are squeezing up, then you have to be razor sharp and ready for it, because those two goalkeepers, as you said, they're seasoned campaigners. Actually, they're similar. Both of them have experience playing out the field.
Yeah.
Both of them are brilliant shot stoppers, and both of them are razor sharp to find their man. So that's a huge point. It could have a massive bearing in it, actually.
It could. Murphy's like another fullback, because he came off the line against Galway there, and there was a certain goal on. He's off he put his body on the line as well. Now, last year, the same thing against Galway in the Leinster final. He came out and put his body on the line. But look, these things happen in matches. Other things, you get your chances. But I think that if Kilkenny get the shooting boots on, they shot wise last year that they normally wouldn't shoot. And maybe, like you said, them rabbits could be in the hat yet. We'll see.
And to be fair to Kilkenny, like putting up a scoreline of 226 last year, it's not that many teams that have scored what converts to over 30 points against Limerick in the championship since John Kiley took over. So that is highly impressive. What about then Mikey Butler? Would you be putting him on Peter Casey, for example, because he likes to travel out the field, and he's not the same now as Tony Kelly, because he's kind of more jinking left and right than a sprinter up and down the pitch, Christy.
Yeah, that's true. Casey is extremely. Casey does like a bit like Dara Donovan. He makes the team look very simple. He makes scores, and he's moving on pretty well all the time. Butler, like he's not inclined to venture up the field for some reason. I think if the Kenny half back line break the tackle, Limerick will know all about it, and that's what they're not doing. Kenny half back line, you won't see him down the other end of the field. You won't see him down attacking. Like you'll see Seamus Flanagan back to the 21-yard line. You see, Peter Casey back there. You're not going to see the Kilkenny full forward line. Okay, TJ went back the last time, but you won't see too many of them back there. I feel that if we our half back line get on with it and move up the field and take on the attack, lay off the pass, like Limerick continue, like Diarmaid Burns, Declan Hannon, they're Kyle Hayes, they're tremendous players, each one of them. Jesus, they take any one of them on the team sheet for any team. They just don't make mistakes, and if they do, they're very, very few. So, Shane, yourself, playing against Kilkenny, they'll give it their all, and I think that it'll come down to one or two things to decide the match. I hope it's a great game. Jesus, we are really looking forward to it now. That's the way it is, and the closer it gets, I think the better. I feel myself now more so this year than the last couple of years. I know Tipperary fucking hammered us in 2016 and 19.
And 2010.
2010 was the kind of, we were getting tired then. We had 4 in a row. Yeah, I think we bet 2011 though, just to put the record straight. Is that right, or is it right?
I don't know, Christy. I haven't a clue what you're talking about.
2015 as well, and sure, only for Gary Kelly would have won 2013 as well. He sent off Henry Bowman Turles for nothing.
You got away with enough red cards over the years, Christy.
I know that, but that time, look at Shane. If you fucking touch someone now, you get sent off. If you looked at him, and you wouldn't even see a drop of blood, there wouldn't be a drop of blood on him. Yes, all you would have the fucking hand to be with blood on it, and it gives you a better grip on the hurling. Now they have fucking down to the boss.
But Christy, funny enough, we didn't touch on it yet. Now, actually, the referee could have a huge bearing on Sunday, because the two teams, they like to go at it as quick as they can. They like to be physical. They're both fairly dominant on the high ball. So the referee on the day will have to be as razor sharp also, because he could have a big bearing in this. Well,
look here, I hope he lets the play flow, because if he's everybody tackle, well, we won't have much hurling. This will be a shootout. It'll be a shootout around Glenn and TJ Reid. I hope he lets the game flow, and then if free is a free. I mean, you don't give it, you don't give it, and plus, if you don't get it, just get on with it. And we give out and complain, and he's not going. Do you ever see a ref change his mind? No. Decision is made. I think he refereed Clare and Limerick there 2 years ago, and everybody was saying, it was absolutely bringing the game down. It was the best game I've seen for years. You're
on the ball, Christy.
No?
You're on the ball. It was the nearest. It was the nearest to kind of old school and modern hurling actually in 1 hour and 10 minutes. So it was good. There was big hits. It was fair. There was no octopus. There was no octopus tackling the shoulders or the arms. It was very good.
Yeah. No, I think if he lets off the game and let it flow, but lads going down, I can't. I don't. Jesus, man, it makes me die to see lads going down. Their head is turned off, almost flung off. They're a speciality in doing now. You just twist and turn, get your man booked. So what does the sideline do now? Sure, if he does another tackle, we're down to 14 men. There's two. The referees are being sucked in. The ball is going too fast. They can't keep up with the play. They can't keep up with it.
Is there a bit of diving coming into the GA now? Players kind of just flopping, Chris?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Flop, yeah.
Christy, if they were flopping in our time, Christy, it should be from the pole at Hurley, the back of the pole. That was flopping.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, they'd be fucking conked out then, all right. Yeah. No, I think I think it's gone into teak hurling. I mean, if Ciarán got a ball and ran at me, sure, if I put my hands out, Ciarán falls down, I get booked. You know, and I didn't even pull a stroke on him. And there's no blood, no bandage, no bruising, and I get a yellow card. I'm taken off, sent off. Now I was only sent off once in my lifetime.
You'll have to remind us of that. What happened there?
Wexford foot. It's on YouTube. Look up YouTube. Wexford foot.
Did you deserve to get red?
You'll have to make up your own mind on that. Everybody.
No, Shane. In fairness, I remember Christy, right, and especially at club games, because usually at club level, you know, the opposition would love to have a little pop off you because you've got a county jersey on, you know. So Christy took his, like back in the day, you know, when you could pull, he's took his fair share of treatment. And in fairness, if he's saying he only got the red card once, by God, that's a fair statement, because he possibly could have got it nearly every day he went out. He was getting punishment. But Christy, I want to change the subject slightly. I saw a lovely picture during the week. I thought it was brilliant, of Brian Cody in Kilkenny. We're just after winning, I think, the Leinster final. I don't know what match, or could have been the last match. And you could actually see the delight on his face up in the stand. It just was so nice. It was beautiful. There was no jealousy, and he was still embracing Kilkenny, still there in the heat of battle at the tail end of the championship. That was number one. I believe he's getting involved now with his club as well at the end of the I think now. So it's great to see it.
Sitting beside Matt Root, actually, that was in Croke Park, yeah. Oh, yeah, look, it's just, Ciarán, you know yourself, you're following Limerick and playing with Limerick so many years. The passion never goes, you know, you just...
No.
And everything else goes out the window. You talk about, for that particular time, when the game is on, nothing matters. Money doesn't matter, life doesn't matter, just the match in front of you.
Fact, yeah.
You know, it's just...
everything else takes a back seat.
Absolutely.
And Ciarán, at these matches, do you find yourself getting worked up?
Not really, Shane. No, I suppose I'm kind of conscious when I go to these type of games. You know, I'm conscious. I want to kind of really study it, watch it, and I don't want to miss anything. And if I'm getting involved with some fella roaring on my left or some fella roaring on my right, you know, a bit like when you're playing, I have the same old frame of mind. I just want to be fully tuned in and kind of want to watch everything and miss nothing. And, you know, and that to me suits me rather than getting involved and roaring and shouting and, you know, backhand some supporters left and right. So, you know, I don't get worked up, Shane. As, you know, I just tend to stay cool, enjoy the moment, enjoy the time, because, yeah, this Sunday, you know, I suppose if I was wearing the black and amber jersey, I couldn't wait for Sunday to put last year right. You know, you'll be bulling for it. And I suppose from the Limerick point of view, you know, to have 3-1, to put manners in Kilkenny last year over 2019, and have an opportunity to put the record right again, just to make sure last year wasn't a fluke. So there's a lot of play, and I suppose from the player's point of view, it's about mentally, you know, getting up for it nice and quietly in your own spare time. As Christy said, tactics from time to time go out the window, but your individual ability and skill on the day. Of course, Dara O'Donovan. Sure, Dara O'Donovan is playing to a system no different to the rest of them. You know, that's the system.
Yeah.
But you still have to bring the fullness of your ability, to the biggest day of the year. Christy mentioned Croke Park. My frame of mind at Croke Park always was, if you go to Croke Park, you have to perform. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree, Ciarán. Yeah, no, it's on the day. But you're talking about the hurt from last year. You know, we had a hurt in '73, and we came back in '74.
What are your memories of that then?
Right.
Like, what was the motivation going into that game then in '74 when you're looking for revenge?
Well, there were so many that there was about 4 or 5 of the key players that were regulars on the team that were gone. No, it's a horrible wet day. You know, Limerick came that time. They beat Tipperary in the Munster final, and I remember Richie Bennett, and I know Richie's a lovely fella. He's a Patrick's well man too. But that was, to see him beating Tipperary, we were absolutely delighted. But we didn't know. Sure, look, Shane, you know we all love to see beating Tip. You know that's our favourite, beating Tip. What's passion is beating Kilkenny. And if other teams could wear Kilkenny jerseys, Wexford would have a lot of All Irelands. But 73, Limerick just got stuck into it, and they got the scores, and the goal that was bundled in at the end of the game to finish it off. It was a horrible day, but the players that we had most of them back the following year, and we beat Limerick comprehensively in the final. But that was a great Limerick bunch. And saying that, the victory I had with Limerick in my own playing days was in 1985. Above it, or I think it wasn't. It was 82. Jesus, Frankie Nolan came in off the bench and he nearly bet us. Joe McKenna was playing full forward that time. We played up in Thurles. And it was extraordinary. That same year, we won the All Ireland, beating Cork with the same score, 2-12 to 2-14, and the same beating Limerick in the National League final, 2-12 to 2-14. Horrible wet day or windy day final, but the memories of the Limerick, they had some great players that time. You know, the great Leonard Enrish was there. You know, Paddy Fitzmaurice, the guy playing midfield with the black and white helmet. I went out with his sister. I can't think of his name now.
Jimmy Carroll.
Jimmy, and Frankie
was Christy, I never realised you used to do a small bit of hunting down the Limerick side.
Come here, Ciarán. My wife is from West Clare.
Oh, sorry, you went further again.
I met her in Spain.
I suppose just to finish up then, lads, because you've both been great with your time. Who's going to win on Sunday, Christy, and why?
I think we have a great chance of winning, and the main reason I think is the pain. The pain is there from last year. I think that should drive them on. Also, I suppose they hammered them in the league final as well. So I don't know how players react now. Do they mix much? I don't know, Ciarán, what the story is there, but I think that in itself is enough to drive them on. Like you know what happened with Tipperary and Cork back in the early 90s, and you had the Offaly team, you know, as well going on to play the All Ireland as well with the change of manager down through halfway through the term. There's nothing as good to drive people on as saying, "You're only wasting your time. Limerick are going to protect the cup." You know, that in itself will, you know, and the headlines that people are making, it's hard to get away from it here. And the team, Limerick are a tremendous team, no question about it. You know, you probably never see the likes of them again. How long will they stay going for? When will the line be broken? We hope it's Sunday. Time will tell.
So, Ciarán, which way is it going to be a 4 in a row? Kilkenny to lose 4 All Irelands in a row, or Limerick to win 4 in a row?
No, Shane. Now, what's your own opinion? You give no little opinion at all, Jess. What way do you see it going?
The viewers don't care about my opinion.
Of course they do. Without a doubt, they do.
They want to hear about you. I think it'll go down to the last 10 minutes, and I think, like you look at last year, Casey wasn't playing, Keane Lynch, your nephew, wasn't playing. Those two boys are coming to the boil. Hegarty's starting to come to the boil. I think Limerick will pull away in the last few minutes and maybe win by 4. So that'll be my thought on it.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Declan Hannon was a big one. Now, if Declan Hannon was even 80% right, I'd start him. Like, he was so huge last year. Like, his hands like a Venus flytrap in those tight situations. Like, the man knows how to get it done in pressurized situations.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Yeah, and I suppose that question is still lingering out there. Is he 110% fit? Are they going to go with him, or will they go with the last team they had out the last time? Yeah, and come here. No different to both of you. You know, at the end of the day, I think it probably will come down to the last 10, 15 minutes. And you know, funny enough, as you were talking there, like, you know, and Christy, you might be able to identify with this. You know, when you're back hurling in your own era, whatever team is the strongest and whatever players appear to be the best, they're the team and the fellas you want to crack at them.
Yeah.
So if Kilkenny, I would give Kilkenny obviously a great chance, and under the stewardship of Ling, I think he's doing a super job of him, and he's a few queer hawks in the line there himself. Peter Barry's with him. He's the first at the back, and he's there, you know, and they're watching the Kilkenny for the last 3 or 4 years, and they can see, even when they're watching, a small little improvement. So if they can even bring about 30 or 40% that they lacked last year, they're there with a great chance. But I just feel, Shane, this year, okay, we'll park the 4 in the year, 4 in a row. It's very easy to mention the 4 in a row when you've won. I just feel this one would be probably the sweetest one, because they were rattled on a good few occasions in Munster, and they still weathered the storm, underperforming. And I just think everything appears to be coming right from at the right time leading into the final. My gut feeling tells me it will take a fair team to beat them. And I leave it at that.
And Chris, we'll give you the right to the reply before we finish up.
Well, I think we're not going up for this to make up the numbers.
Well, that's hey, actually,
and come here, Jane. I'll drink to that.
Christy, I have to ask you one final thing, and you've been unreal with your time. Do you still ever go out for a few pucks yourself? Like, you still in love with the game?
Oh yeah, my young fella is playing with passages. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I don't like that fucking hurley so sharp though. I still have the old 36, 37 hurley in the garage. And is what the boss on the hurley that you guys have now. My God, sure, they can't strike it on the ground. There's no hope of striking it on the ground. The shape is not in the hurley to strike it on the ground. Yeah, so look, it's in you. You love it's nothing is you get more pleasure out of striking the ball. That's the way it is.
And Shane, it's funny the way the conversation is going. Right, it's gone to ground hurling. Come here, it's 10 o'clock. We could be there at 10 o'clock tonight talking.
Lads, it's been great stuff. Brilliant. I know the viewers, lots of positive comments coming in. They've really enjoyed it. So, Christy, thanks very much for joining us, and Ciarán, brilliant stuff as ever.
Thanks,
great stuff. Great to see you, Christy. Mind yourself and God bless, man. Thanks, Shane.
See you Sunday. Bye-bye.
Good luck.